We are just days away from the...
Don't say it.
I can say it here. The Super Bowl.
Game.
There you go. And what better way to celebrate the big game than to talk with WKYT's only sports director, the one and only Brian Milam, ladies and gentlemen.
I walk off camera to walk in going, hey.
You need your wrestling music, your theme music to come in. You know?
Dun, 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 dun.
So how are we talking about the big game? Before we get to it, can we talk a little bit about the question we discussed earlier? Because many of us are kind of confused. Are we allowed to say that word, or are we supposed to stick with the big game?
No, you got to go Super Bowl.
Okay.
I mean, that's the way it's been since 1967.
Okay.
So we got to go Super Bowl. We got Super Bowl 58. And just think, that game is older than all of us. Sometimes combined, it feels like.
Just barely.
Just barely, yeah.
Right.
But yeah, it's Super Bowl, and it is a national, an unofficial national holiday when you think about it, because even if you don't like football, you go to find that game, or you at least tailgate, you have a party. It is a reason to get together, and whether you like football or not, who needs a reason to go have friends and hang out with friends and people you like?
Yeah, and good food, because that's part of it. You know,
Sure.
You go hang out, you have the wings, you have whatever other kind of delicious thing you have. Milam, this big one is back on CBS this year, so we'll be able to see it. And a lot of folks out there, you're looking at a modern storied program with Kansas City with all their recent wins. Then you've got the history in San Francisco.
Well, you really have history with both, in the fact that Lamar Hunt, who was the then owner of the Kansas City Chiefs, he's the one who coined the Super Bowl.
Oh, really?
1967,
Wow.
and his family still runs the Chiefs organization today. And the Chiefs, you know, we grew up, you and I, to a degree, on the San Francisco 49ers. Joe Montana, Steve Young, Jerry Rice, these names which will never die. And I grew up a Cowboys fan, so they broke my heart a lot when I was a child. Yeah. But then you have the Chiefs. They were in the Super Bowl. Hank Stram was their coach way back when, and Len Dawson, who's playing the first half, then goes and smokes a cigarette and has a Fresca at halftime, comes back out and wins the ball game. You know, but there are.
I like that guy.
But you've got two teams here that they've been in it since the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's just kind of neat that way, I think.
So what are we thinking as far as expectations? I mean, you know everyone. So who do you think is going to win?
I know everyone.
Who's going to win?
Well, it depends on if you are a Taylor Swift fan or not. Because the Chiefs probably have the better, maybe the better team in spots. But, you know, the Niners maybe they're the new underdog. You know, no one knew Tom Brady 23 years ago. No one really knew who Brock Purdy was, the San Francisco quarterback, until this year, really. So, you know, the Super Bowl creates heroes. Kurt Warner of the Rams years ago, he was bagging groceries 3 months before he was a Super Bowl champion. He parlayed that into a Hall of Fame career. So, who knows? Maybe we have an upset, but Patrick Mahomes and the Swifties out there, they're rooting for the Chiefs.
Yeah, they are.
In a big way. They really are. And really quickly, we're talking about we got the high school football, or the Kentucky Football Hall of Fame coming up, a show tonight on the CW.
Yeah,
right?
the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Kentucky is the only state in the Union that has its own Pro Football Hall of Fame just for the people who played in this state or are from this state. And we will unveil the 2024 class tonight at 7 o'clock on CW. And a lot of Hall of Famers with Central Kentucky connections. And this one really has some Central Kentucky connections. But you got to wait.
You know what I'm rallying for? I'm rallying for Brian Milam to be on the Morehead State University's Athletic Hall of Fame.
Yes.
The baseball player he was. This is me rallying. Thank you, Brian, for being here. We got more Everyday Kentucky coming up.
Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after the break.